Thank you so much, first of all, for joining us, Ahmad, and it's pleasure to have someone from that region. I only have one lady which I've interviewed from that region. Now you are the second one, and it's a great feeling because to have someone from customer end, because not
Mm.
a lot of people from customer end come and talk, right? Mostly are vendors and product oriented. So, Ahmad, tell
Yes,
us about yourself because our audience doesn't know you. We would love to hear about you.
sure, my pleasure. First of all, thank you, Mustafa, for having me in your podcast. I'm Ahmed Sirka. I'm a chief data officer in a government entity in Abu Dhabi called Abu Dhabi Quality and Conformity Council. While the name is quality, but it's not about data quality. Yeah, it's about the product quality, the market quality. I came from a pure technical background in my whole career. I started in 2007 as a system admin. Uh, then I turned into data in the last 6 years, 6 to 7 years. And my entire career in Abu Dhabi government. I moved from different entities, but all in the under the umbrella of Abu Dhabi government. Uh, I'm a certified CDMP data practitioner. I led a team, a data team in the council. Main duties is like what we are coming to talk about in the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
our podcast.
Yeah. So again, it will be, I think it will be a lovely podcast today because I'm going to ask all those like technologies are moving so fast, how you cope up with it, what is the visibility, observability, and transparency do, what is the data quality and governance. So we are going to ask all those things. But first tell us, are you uh, Abu Dhabi born or where you're born?
I'm Syrian.
Oh, you are a Syrian. Okay.
Yeah,
How
I'm
you ended
Syrian,
up here?
but I've been in UAE since 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, my roots is from Caucasus, and my mother is Turkish.
Oh, your mother is Turkish. Actually, my ethnicity is Turk.
Yeah,
That's great to hear. So we moved
yeah,
in.
but with almost 17 years here in UAE, I absorbed the culture here, and I feel too much related to this area.
Yeah, it's just a lovely area to work on, especially in data and AI world. Budget is a problem, but in that region, budget is not a problem. And you end up the biggest advantage I had and learning I had with Patronas was budget was never a problem. When budget is not a problem, you end up exploring so many use cases, which is
Mhm.
new into the market, new into the era. So that was a big catch for me when I was working with Patronas. Okay, lovely. So let's jump on to our topic. Just for our audience, our topic today is what are the challenges CDO is facing in the current era. Let me little bit elaborate. Reason being for our audience, reason being technology is moving so fast. Every 3 to 6 months, a new and better and cheaper technology comes in. And I every day I hear that CDOs are facing so many challenges. In fact, CDO is one of that role which moves very fast. As per Gartner and other forums, it says within 18 to 16 months, CDO role changes because technology is moving so fast. Businesses are expecting so much from CDOs, and authority and ownerships are not giving to the CDOs. Uh, Data has become IT instead of business strategy. So we'll talk about all those things. So let's start with basics. What do you think about CDO at a whole, and then we go into detail.
Well, let's start first of all with the CDO role as a chief data officer. What is he supposed to do in the organization?
Mm.
From my point of view, the chief data officer is a relative role from an entity to another, from a company to another. In some entities, let's start with what he's supposed to do. He's a translator between the business and the data team or the IT team. He has to translate the business strategy into actionable initiatives for the data team to implement. In many organizations, I've seen the chief data officer is just hired just to be there. Maybe it's a mandate by the government or by some regulatory entities. And in some cases, the CDO is just a technical guy who's leading the data team and tell them what to do in the data warehousing mainly, while the other stuff of the chief data officer duties is just a documentation only. And this is the bottleneck that has to connect between the business and the IT. Usually the business hire the CDO and think that he must be the owner of the data and he has to take decisions of these data, while the CDO mainly have to let the business be accountable for their data and take their decisions on this data, because they are the actual owner of this of their data. Without taking the accountability of the business of their data, mostly the CDO is gonna take this responsibility instead, and maybe led to wrong decisions, because as I've seen, most of the CDOs coming from a technical background more than strategic or business background. And this is not wrong or nothing without it, because in order to interact or to collaborate with your team, data team, you have to understand what's the architecture, what's the quality tools, what's the technology stack behind, and many other stuff more close to the technical than the business or the strategy.
You're right. Let me add here, right? You are absolutely right that CDO's role, which is data practice landscape to manage this whole landscape, it has become an IT. Because you are absolutely right, because business is considering CDO as a vendor. Like you give some work to the vendor and vendor own everything and do everything. I think that is what business is asking CDO to do it. But at the same time, when you commented, right, that CDOs are coming from technical world, actually you are the first one who are saying that, and I'm happy to hear it. I also see that, but that's a very from my point of view, from my experience, that is a small number of CDOs which come from IT, and they normally come from operations, not from data. And most of CDOs, because you are right, because normally business think of CDO as someone who runs the pipelines, who create the dashboards, and who will manage a data governance team. That's all, nothing more than that, right? Whatever being told, they will do. But there are other side of the CDOs, which who are totally coming from the business, totally coming from the business, and and the most of the people which I have meet, they don't have a background of data. That's a disconnect I see. Because if you, yeah,
this is the gap actually,
yes,
because those guys who is coming from non-technical background as a CDO, they need some translator between them and the
yes,
IT or the data team.
yes.
So that's why I see the CDOs who are coming from technical background, those are more flexible with the interaction between business and IT.
And if
And
I say there has to be data background rather than traditional operation background.
exactly. Yeah.
So,
And let me say what I've seen in, for example, in Abu Dhabi, the entity who's responsible to lead the digital and data strategy in the government, they started focusing on the CDO role from the IT. First of all, they didn't start it from the business. So they started to enhance, to train, to raise the culture, the awareness of the data things within the IT department. When it became mature enough, they moved it under the strategy. Now we know the IT team how to deal with them, how they configure the infrastructure, the architecture of their systems. Now this CDO are able to communicate, translate those to the strategy team. Now the strategy department can take decisions based on the CDO recommendations, for example. And I want to add something to the challenges that CDO could face, and mostly they are facing. CDOs are hired without authority,
Yeah.
without the required permissions to talk to the top management, to take some decisions, to report to the committee. So if the CDO is being hired just as a team member of the IT team, then
It's not going
it's
to work.
it's like a car without petrol, actually.
Actually, again, you are one of those people who have the same opinion which I have. I feel CDOs should sit into the committee, at least
Yeah,
at least at a board level, where when strategy people are making strategy, because they are not aware of the technology. Normally what happens that product companies come, then they sell their tool like they used to sell generative AI as well. And we have seen just MIT report that 85% of all generative AI project failure, and by 2027 they are saying all 40% of the agentic AI will fail, because when product owner comes, they say we can do everything, right? And
yeah,
they go and tell strategy people, sales people, they never come to CDO. So
yeah.
now that those people give this mandate to the CDO to do it, right? Without knowing whether technology can do it, whether data is available or not. Because
Yeah.
when you talk about data, there are many things in data: integration, operability, master data, MDM, golden record. There are many things which only CDO.
They don't involve the CDO in the discussions we're taking before taking the decisions.
And once they create a strategy, they get to the board level, all approves, then die they have to do it right. Now when they die have to do it, they bring CDO. And that poor
This is
CDO
what
guy.
I meant. Yeah, this is what I meant by dealing with the CDO as a team member only.
Hmm,
So then you didn't hire a CDO. You just maybe a team leader or
leader, yes.
yeah, is just leading a team. So again, the chief data officer has to design the policies, the procedures, um, frameworks. For sure, he's not going to do all of this by himself alone.
Here.
By
He will steer his team, yeah.
Yeah, he will steer his team. He will involve some different people from different teams. Maybe he has to form a committee or let's say a working group, a horizontal working group with different backgrounds or uh, specializations. Uh, then he has to make sure to implement those policies, not keep them in a document only. And this is the fault of many CDOs as well, where they only create the policies, create the procedures, and either they put them in a system or just keep them in a documents. And that's it. We have done the policies. Oh, you want a policy? It's there. But
Is there?
who will oversee the implementation of this policy, forcing these policies? And you need the KPIs. You need to monitor the implementation of those policies. You have designed the framework. Yeah, it's good. Then who's following these frameworks?
I can tell you why it is not happening. Because I'm
It's
interviewing
not
so
easy,
many.
by the way. It's not easy.
Yes. See, anything which is not easy, because you do not know how to do it. My
Yeah.
apologies to be very blunt, right? Because once policies come from regulatory body, you have to do a complete impact analysis. You need to have a blueprint in your mind and everything visually in front of you, either on a visibility tool. We will come towards the visibility as well, because I feel that is one of the biggest thing CDO should have. We will come towards that. So CDO need to have a complete blueprint in front of him. So whenever new regulatory comes, he or she need to know where to plug in rather than just park it, as you mentioned. And when you
Yeah.
plug in, you need to know the dependencies, you need to know the impact, you need to know a lot of things. And I think the people who already know that, I'm a big advocate that CDO should come from data background. At least 5 to 10 years experience need to be there for data, then should be treated as a CDO. Normally, as
Yeah.
you mentioned, that operations guys, normally nothing wrong. Again, I'm not against those people. I'm just saying that these poor guys, because operation guys are something, some people are the people who just keep the lights open. That's what they do that. So once they come into data, they do the same thing. So that's a challenge. Okay, let me bring that visibility piece into it, because I believe, as I just touched base, visibility is the biggest challenge in every organization right now.
Yeah.
I have been interviewed around people around from 35 to 40 countries, and that's the biggest challenge. Why? Last time we had centralized warehouses, big enterprise warehouses. Now federated approach came in. Now we have so many small data products. Agentic AI will make it more worse, right? Now, if you don't have
Mhm.
a visibility, you do not know what you have created. As per Gartner reports, there are 72 to 75% products sitting on shelf. I think it's a sexy name of a failure to call it on a shelf, but those are failure projects, right? Right.
Yeah.
So, how important is the visibility for the CDO for all the data products in the organization?
I will make it short, Mustafa. To make it visible, that means to make it sustainable.
Hmm.
Because if it's not visible, there is no visibility, then you are doing ad hoc initiatives or ad hoc programs, or you are dealing with the whole data program as a project, not as a program.
Hmm. Hmm.
While from the beginning, you have to think about the sustainability of the data program being uh, all the days around running data. It's not an end. You will not reach an end with the data program.
Hmm.
Okay. Then the regular changes coming, changing the team members, maybe changing the whole leadership. If there is a visibility, then you can make sure that all the projects that you worked on or the initiatives will still continuing. You are not changing your whole strategy because new team came and they don't know what happened before and where are the documentation for those projects that they have done before. I have been in a situation where an existing data warehouse, enterprise data warehouse, were there, and everything was running good. Another company, they hired another vendor to reinitiate the data program and build a new data warehouse with different technology. But the old team has gone. The old team who built the old data warehouse, they
Yeah.
gone. So now who will tell the ETLs what transformation being done on those the previous ETLs?
Hmm.
Nobody.
No.
Then they fall in many mistakes building new ETLs while nobody can translate those the business logic behind those ETLs being there. Now they came with new dashboards. Now the business users refused to accept in the new dashboards because new figures coming to them.
New numbers. Yes.
Yeah, and they couldn't reach to a logic because they have different views from the business users,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and this is a perfect example of lacking the visibility in in the data program.
Yeah, so absolutely right, right. I think you're referring to data lineage, right, and all kind of lineages. So when and you're bringing the importance of metadata. So tell our audience the importance of metadata, because I feel personally, actually, I wrote an article like 5 years back. I wrote at that time that if you have a proper metadata in place, you can reduce 80% of your reporting.
Yes.
Somehow I wrote it 5 years back, and now when I discuss with my colleagues, it's turning out to be true. Because once you have agentic AI coming into picture, where agents will be creating a lot of things, you can't have your product without metadata. So tell us the importance of metadata.
So let's come to the definition of metadata. So the metadata is it's just a data about your data. So you expect someone is telling you about what is this data. You have many tables, you have many attributes there in your database. But if you don't have the description of this data, then you cannot take decisions to them. You can't build the ETLs to figure out where to find the exact figures in your database.
Hmm.
And this came with the importance of having systems to manage the metadata. I think you have heard about the data marketplaces. Now it's trendy to have a marketplace that you can just put the data. So imagine you don't maintain your metadata and you want to go live with uh, the marketplace. You'll just put a rubbish data that you as an owner you even don't know about this data.
I
So
have an
how you expect
example.
others to request this data, how they will deal with this data, how will they build dashboards with this data that it may it may have different meanings.
Yeah,
Uh,
actually, I have an example on this marketplace, right? One of my, again, data folks, which I interviewed, one of the guy has built a great tool for visibility. So since you have an idea, up to you go into production and post production till the time of adoption. So it shows everything. It is an awesome tool, right? Maybe I will introduce you later with that guy. But what he example he gave, he said he met a European company and they were very happy that hey, we have 1,200 products, data products in our organization. So just this guy jumped on his seat. What the hell? 1,200 products. Yeah, we are very proud we have 1,200. Okay, we need your tool, blah blah. They implemented his tool. He told that then that market survey from Gartner comes that 75% projects are on shelf. So out of 1,200, 75% projects were nobody was owning it. Right? Nobody knew what it is. So yeah, you are absolutely right. If you don't have a
and
visibility, yeah,
it's all interrelated actually. The importance of metadata has to become to the visibility. If I
yes,
have maintained metadata, then it's easy for any new team member to come and understood this data, to
yes,
maintain, to keep doing quality checks, for example, to build new ETLs, build dashboards, or exchange these data with some other parties. So again, it's all interrelated. Data lineage, the data visibility, the data observability, data quality. It's the data metadata as well. It's all has to be together, along with in order to make the data program successful, you have to plan from the beginning about your change management.
mm,
Maybe we are not coming in the details about change management now, but you have to make sure that all your entities speaking the same language or the data language, let's say. So keep your awareness sessions, keep your trainings for the the stewards, the users, even for the end users. This will make sure that everyone involved in the importance of data, keeping an eye of their data, for example, for the data stewards or data owners. So again, whenever you go for any part or any section of the data management, it's all building blocks actually.
absolutely. So let me add one more angle in metadata to close our loop on metadata for our audience. Normally, metadata we treat as a technical metadata or a operational metadata, and then there's a business metadata as well. Within business metadata, I was preparing a training for someone on data modeling. So I have to draft everything, right? So we came to know that there are 33 data modeling techniques. We only work on 4 5. There are 33. It starts from strategy to business to conceptual to logical to physical, and then all those ontologies, taxonomies, 3NFs. I can name all those because I'm creating a training. So there are 33 types of data modeling. Now, the moment you start building your data ecosystem, everything has to start from entity. You need to know entities of your organization. The moment you have entities, then you need to know the links. So nodes and links concept come in. That is
Yes.
where actually that business and information data modeling comes. So you are absolutely right that business, everybody need to know the business data modeling, and that is a business metadata. Because if once you have all the entities, you have all the links, you have all the properties, you have the complete visibility, right?
Yeah.
And then you have your taxonomies and ontologies in place. Now, we did some kind of research with me, with my few colleagues. We came to know that if you have a proper business metadata slash information modeling in place, you can reduce your next data product development. You can reduce up to 60 to 70% your development time.
Exactly.
60 to 70%. So if you implement a new data product, if that is planning to go 6 months in production, you can take it in 1 month because you already have all the connections there. The new requirement comes in, you simply plug and you go to the next one,
Yes.
right? People
Yeah.
miss this whole piece. Before we go to the next one, there's a guy, Daniel London from Europe. He's a very core metadata guy. So he gave us an example that couple of at his customer end, couple of organization merged together. You know
Mhm.
that merging another organization to an first data model is a hell of a job. So
Yep.
he told us that as these guys had a very good metadata in place, within 2 days, the second organization was able to merge. Can you believe that? Because you have
Uh,
a proper metadata in place, right?
this is something exceptional, actually.
Actually, the more I go into these data modeling, because people are saying, let's go away from the modeling. I say, no, you cannot run away from the modeling. Yes, you can. Actually, I'm creating agents where you can talk one paragraph and it will create the data modeling out of the box. So I'm
Awesome.
creating those agents as well. So because I have ended up coming up with this 33 data modeling. So I was creating the deck. I created the whole deck. Then I realized to put an examples, I have to do manually. Then an idea came in. I went on to the chat GPT. I created an agent. I gave it a prompt and it created all the examples for me. Huh. I said, wow. So why not I end up creating all the agents, 33 agents. Each agent talk to each other. So if you talk about a procurement data product, you talk for 5 minutes, I record your transcription, I give it to the first agent as an input, and all data modelings are created within 1 hour.
MashaAllah.
So that's yeah.
Every time you hear about agentic AI, you just sudden, oh, mashallah, everything.
Yeah. So actually, it's your perception, and as I mentioned, and you mentioned as well that if you know what you're doing, then agentic AI will really help you. If you
Yeah,
do not know what agentic AI is going to produce, then you will go into loops, right? Okay,
yeah,
let's bring when we say go into loops, let's bring transparency discussion into picture. Because we just know that Elon Musk, one of the company, was sued by regulatory for $100 million, right? 100 million, 10 million, something like that, because they
yeah.
could not reproduce the data and evidence. So tell us the importance of, well, wherever you are working, that if you produce something, give it to regulatory bodies or audit, and you can't reproduce this, what is the importance of transparency?
See, as a government company, maybe I will not see the saving cost is one of the benefits of the transparency because we are a government, but we have regulatory audits
Hmm.
and we have to adhere to the regulations, to the rules. For example, the personal data protection law rules. In addition to the, let's say, let me add the term of observability, which
Yes.
is yeah, data observability, which the ability to monitor your data, track your data
Yes.
movement from the source to the end. And if you were able to have a data point or a tracking for this movement, then this will make sure that each data station, let me say it, each data station, the data moves in, can be tracked if anything had happened or monitored or changed on the data while it's being while it's moved. Uh, Along with the KPIs that you set on enforcing let's say the rules or the policies of your data. Um, I think it's a term of adhering to the regulations and
Yes.
the rules of from the different regulatory entities.
Absolutely. And regulatory entities are moving so fast because of this AI, agentic AI. Every day they find some loophole and they change their policy. Actually, I'm
Yeah.
working on a customer, I can't name it. They are asking us to build an agentic AI solution where whenever policies changes, your whole process should adopt it very quickly.
Mm.
Reason being, your whole process is automated, but manually managed automated, like your RPA and your jobs are running. The moment policy change, someone has to go and inject the new policy. Before injecting, you have to do the impact analysis. If other policies has to decom, those have to decom, new has to come in. When new comes in, whether it is from day one or from day minus 2 months, we do not know. So
Okay.
we are building that agentic AI solution as well. Okay, so we have a time check of 15 minutes. Do you have a hard stop?
No,
Okay, so we will spend next 10 to 15 minutes on this thing. Then maybe offline, I'll show you something. I'll take this
sure.
opportunity to show you something which I've built. Okay, so coming towards in last 10 minutes, let's talk about the data culture because data culture is one of the biggest issue concern everybody talks about. Hey,
Yeah.
organization, any vendor, any product you pick up and you ask them why data product fails, they always put the blame on the customer. And they say, hey, they don't have a data culture. Now, data culture starts from where? Which role? CDO role, right? It
Yeah.
always, because CDO is the owner of, is the parent, father of the whole data culture. So tell us
Yeah.
about data culture. How do you manage your organization departments who are not data related, but you want them to be dependent on data for decision making? How do you
Yeah.
drive this?
Uh, Mustafa, I mentioned previously that in the beginning of your data program, you have to plan for change management, which is part of it, the data culture. So if you didn't plan it to be continuous,
Hmm.
then you will reach an end that after a few months, everybody will forget about your data, your whole data program.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then you have to start again. So to spread the awareness about your data culture, make all your entity members talk the same language of data, or at least understand what's the importance of this data program that's being implemented. Then you have to keep some like what we are doing. We have to keep awareness sessions about different data topics. The importance of data protection, for example, or the data, let's say, data classification.
Hmm.
Uh, Now everybody's, I think, is using the data protection, data classification features from Microsoft 365.
Hmm.
So everybody can see now. If you want to see, send an email, I have to set the sensitivity of this email.
Hmm.
The same applies to the documents of Office 365. Now, this is something very important that will build on when you want to share the data sets or
Hmm.
the databases want to migrate for cloud, for example. You need your people to understand the sensitivity of this data in order to take a decision what should be migrated to the cloud and what's not. Uh, as you know, moving into the cloud is something it's very critical for the government,
Yes.
and they were uh, stopping migrating to the cloud, even for here in UAE, for many years. Until now, they make sure that they have data residency, they have sovereignty of their data centers. Even Microsoft, they build their data centers here. Now we got a green light to go migrate for the cloud, but they excluded, for example, the sensitive data to being migrated. So if I didn't build the culture of my end users to classify, to understand the classification of their data, then I have to repeat the whole process again. I have to go over all my data, then do the classification again and again.
Hmm.
And again, this practice has been done before by the government with the, let's say, ITIL. Before the government, when they entered the digital transformation era, they want all their employees to understand the same terms of IT. So they have done awareness sessions. They enforced the employees, especially the IT team, to go for ITIL. Even for then they moved it to the business users, because the end users are the main users who will use the systems,
Hmm.
will be the focal points for using the systems of the digital transformation. So they enforced all people to go for ITIL.
Okay.
Then the IT department, when they want to go with in meetings with the business owners, they can speak the same language. For example, they want to buy new infrastructure or acquire a new system. They can tell them the importance of this system, if they will comply uh, with the, let's say, the requirements that they have in their infrastructure or not. Is this technology applicable to be adopted or no? So the same will happen again, should happen in the data field as well. And this is what's going on actually, even by the government. They are spending too much money on training people, raising the awareness. For example, let me talk about the CDMP. Abu Dhabi government, they certified more than 700 employees around in different entities in the training for CDMP. They certified them. And maybe 220 people, they certified them for the practitioner level as well. So they are keeping the awareness from time to time to go for training sessions, to go for data talks, for example. They keep awareness sessions for public, for even for business users, not only data team. Now I can say that everyone talk about the program, the data program in all the government. They know the importance of having quality data, which is the cornerstone for the AI, for example, for the AI models, for large language models as well.
Yeah, so actually training, when we talk about training, actually you touch base two things. One is awareness, the other is training. By the way, I'm not a big fan of training because I'm a very scary kid. So I'm also Dharma certified. I'm masters as well, CDMP. But
Oh.
my company really pushed me to do it. I'm not a big fan. I feel whenever I go onto an exam, I'm blind. I can't see anything. So I'm that kind of person. So that is where I'm coming, right? When we talk about culture, you are right. Everybody says that you need to train your people. And
Mhm.
majorly people go for CDMP and other kind of trainings. I personally feel because CDMP is very complex, by the way, it's not easy. Their terms are very complex. I think first of all we have to go from a basic training like what is data. I'm sure 95% people does not even know what is data, right? They say everything
Mhm.
is data, right? But secondly, I think we need to have those hackathons, datathons. We need to have games, especially games within the organization where there is no loser and there is no winner. Those
Mhm.
kind of games which has to be data oriented games. And
Mm.
last but not the least, whenever top management asks someone, hey, show me something, decision 99.99 today, decisions are projected onto a PowerPoint. I am totally against on that. Because everybody creates a PowerPoint and show to management, right?
Yes.
So you are telling your top management not to use data. Yes, they are using data. I personally feel whatever numbers anyone shows to anyone, it has to be a data, it has to be a dashboard which
Mhm.
has to connect to the real time database in production.
Mm.
Either that data has been processed overnight or it is processed real time, does not matter. But the data has to come from the database. That is how you
It
will
has to
make
be come from a single source of truth, let's say.
at least from database, because once data comes from a database, it means whoever is presenting already gone through that data, take a responsibility. Now, what
Yeah.
happens? You ask CFO or CIO to present some number, they will ask their team. Their team will in databases, extract from SAP or ERP, put into an Excel, transform that into an Excel. Five people patch it and they present it. Right decision made. Now you are telling your employees not to be data culture. So that's my say. That's my three pointer is it has should not start from CDMP. Yes, CDMP is required. If you have minimum 5 years experience or 10 years in data, then CDMP is good. But if you're learning data from start, it has to be basic level of data trainings, very basic. What is data? Secondly, hackathons, and thirdly, no one should be allowed to show on PowerPoint. Everything else.
Actually, this is what happened. The CDMP training was supposed to for the data focal points of contacts.
Ah, okay, okay,
There
then
is a
good.
central entity which is Department of Government Enablement.
Hmm.
Okay, this is the regulatory entity in Abu Dhabi, who all the entities reporting their data to this entity. So they make the training for CDMB only for the data focal points. Let's say the CDOs or the focal points of contacts for data, in order to speak with the central entity the same
Ah,
language. For
correct, correct.
example, to do the assessments, to do the compliance. Uh, this is for the CDMB. But the other users they could take, for example, training for Power BI
Or BI,
to
yes.
activate the self-reporting.
Hmm, hmm.
The end users, yes, they have to understand the importance of having the data out of systems, not out of manual data sources.
Yes, yes. That's what I
Uh,
thought.
and I just remembered one case that a few years ago, I was working with the reporting team, and we built an interactive dashboard combining multiple data sources, and this were supposed to go was supposed to be presented to the GM. Once
Hmm.
we finished developing the dashboard, we sent the link to the GM office that this is the dashboard, and we explained to them how to move, interact between each component of the dashboard. They told us, okay, we just need to export it as a PDF. Send it to us as a PDF.
Or Excel. If the guy is a said number savvy, like CFO, they will ask you put
Yeah.
it into Excel and give it to them. They will create their own micros and macros, and they will create own dashboard. So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the irony, right? The data culture actually, the narrative has to come from top. Last topic before we close our this session on podcast thingy, then we'll go offline. Uh,
Yeah.
how important it is, because this topic is a very lengthy topic. Maybe I'll discuss this. Okay, now let me throw this.
Okay.
How important it is for, I think you have shared this, but let's, as a closing remark, how important it is for our data strategy, and nowadays AI strategy is also coming, should be part of business strategy, not on its own.
Uh, nowadays it became a basics of the
Mm,
business team when they want to build or create their strategy, develop their strategy for the coming, let's say, 3 to 5 years. Now they understand the importance of data because in the digital transformation era, all your core business systems are producing data.
mm,
And if you want to take decisions, you are going to go back to this data. So now they have the, let's say, the maturity, the enough maturity to consult the CDO or the data team, let's say, who is responsible for data, to be involved in developing this strategy. And the role of CDO is again to translate this strategy, the business strategy, into data strategy. And maybe few years ago, the business team were telling the CDO, we need to implement the data. This is their whole understanding about data, that we need to
implement it.
implement the data.
And now what is data? They don't.
Yeah, but now after these few years of awareness sessions, the involvement of every section, every entity, every department in the data program, they know what exactly they request in order to develop the strategy. For example, in order to size the budget for the next year, they have to consult the data team. What's your requirements for the coming year? They know they have a requirement of some platforms. They have licenses for different tools. Are we going to migrate to cloud or no? Because also some new legislation, new requirements coming from the government to the entity to have some prerequisite of data projects for the next year. So it's not an option now just to tell that we need to implement data, or they develop the strategy and they then go back to the chief data officer to ask him about uh, what's your add-on on the strategy. So it's the data now is the hard topic of each business strategy, as I think.
So we are saying we are on the same page that CDO is one of the key role of an organization, right?
Yeah.
But by the way, I have two kind of other podcasts. One podcast I had with one guy from US. With respect to every guest, they have their own point of view. The topic was CDO is dead. One topic, because they might have the same experience which I and you are sharing, that people have made CDO as an IT guy. That's why they think CDO is dead. Then I had another podcast few weeks back where a person has created an complete agentic AI solution of CDO. They're creating a clone of a CDO in shape of agentic AI. So there are different people have different point of view. Where I stand, I 100% I am on top of that CDO role, not chief digital, it's chief data officer has to be an organization. And I'm a big advocate. Not a lot of people agree with me, but I have to repeat it that CDO has to
And
have a data background.
one last point I want to let shed the light on. Now the government is promoting a new role, which is an upgrade for the CDO role, which is a chief digital and data AI officer. So
Wow.
CDDAIO.
Shit, man. So can I apply for that role?
It's an executive.
Yeah.
It's an ED level role.
Yeah. So yeah, again, data word will always remain. As I always says, data, what we call it today, agentic AI. Initially, it was data mining. Then it converted to data science. Then it converted to
Yeah.
AI. Then it converted to generative AI. Then it converted to agentic AI.
Agent.
It end up changing, but data always remains same, right?
Yes.
That's why I keep myself very much attached with the data. Rest thing will keep changing. Again, Ahmed, it was a great session. Pleasure talking to you. We will continue after this before we close it. Thank you again.
My
And
pleasure.
any closing remark for this session? It was a great session, Ahmed.
Thank you, Mustafa, again for this interesting session. Hope inshallah we meet again and again. And to close this session, as it's all about the CDO role, for all companies or all the decision makers, please give the required authority for the chief data officer and let him take his place in your strategy.
Thank you so much for advocating for that, because my career path is also CDO. People start saying CDO is dead, so I was so demotivated. But thank you so much for confirming that. Thank you so much, Ahmed.
Thank you, Mustafa. Have a nice day.